Let's start this broadcast off with a bang. We've got Vitality going up against Ago, and to quote Dombays in the pre-show, I can't wait to see Ago getting banged up by Vitality. This should be a fun one, even if Tom doesn't think that it is going to be.
Yeah, I think AGO will have a lot more to prove. That's the basics of what I'm saying. Vitality have looked good. Zaiwu, I think with AAA, or was it against all odds, managed to get them to like
Against all
playoffs.
authority.
He managed to do it all on his own. Like Zaiwu alone got them to playoffs one season. So now he has a team behind him. I think the Vitality should be one of the teams looking to try and get to like at least the top four and probably get into Pro League. That's the aim. Obviously, whether I think they'll do that or not, that's coming into question. Obviously, we've already spoken about the idea of huge amount of sort of talented teams. Like VP is still in there with the new roster. You've got Valiant, so I think are another team that could be pushing themselves right up the top. So yeah, we are going to be going into our pistol round and a little bit of utility purchase off for PHR and Spiro, and then of course RPK with the kit.
RPK starting things off strong, finds the first one, going for more. Grubby ends up taking him down, but not before Alex can get in position to trade him away. Now, the question comes in and go. They're going over towards the A site with a bit of a dirge of players, but Apex is still there to defend it out. Apex from behind could have got one, but he waits for too long, and PHR will take him down.
Decent setup for this retake, though. They've got a clear Spiro, and he has actually spotted the remaining players, but already one cleared out. PHR good with the trade, and they should have a lot of information. The fact is the rotation from Alex, though, gives them that little bit of extra space. He's looking for PHR, but can't quite find anything. This 2v2 not going so well for the CT side, and Alex just missing the shots, given such an opportunity, but Zai was there. He's picked off one, he's found the kit as well. Caper going to be left on site, trying to fight against the man who pretty much everyone talks about at the moment, and he will eventually win. I think that's a little bit of a whiff coming out from the T player. Probably should have found that frag, but of course, well, you know who it is. Like, I don't even need to say anything at this point. It's Zaiwu, 3 kills, whatever.
I do need to say something, and that's something about the strat that was called early in. So what they decided to do was push out from the B site with 4 players as CTs in the first round, and that's always interesting to see. I personally preferred a lot more on maps like Overpass, where the rotation potential is a lot quicker, but to see it done over here on Cash, it almost went very wrong for them. Zaiwu had to get a 3K to be able to salvage that situation, but it did get them that early advantage. If Apex had been able to get that kill rather than waiting with the trigger discipline, maybe that would have been a slightly easier round for them to actually win out. Now, though, they're starting things off without a single SMG, and you know what? That's a good decision, given the fact that Ago has gone for a buy off the back of that bomb plant.
Yeah, the 3 rifles. Always glad to see an SG. Spiro going to be the one manning that, and of course, person we normally see picking up an AWP, so no surprise he loves himself a little bit of scope action. Zaiwu and Alex on the other side will do the same, and it's worth noting that Alex hasn't been able to afford any head armor. MBK looking for a little bit of aggression of his own. Going to take a small tag through the wall, but not anything to worry about. I think the most interesting position at the moment is that of Alex. Well, actually only manages 1. I'm quite surprised by that. Boosted up on the light, but he will be caught, and now the T swarm in onto this A site.
There goes NBK, nice flashbang to be able to prevent the team from coming in too early. That gives his teammate some time to rotate over. But will that be enough? Because Grubby's making his way onto the site. RPK is down 1, looking for more, but that'll be Zaiwu coming out with 2.
Ooh.
And there's Grubby to respond with 1 more than that, and it's a 1 versus 1. Apex coming in from behind. And he's inside A main. Grubby doesn't realize that Apex might be able to cut him off, but Grubby drops off at the very right time. 3 kills so far, looking for the 4th. He might be able to find it. He's got the angle. Beautifully done.
I think Apex was seeing things in that round. I think there might have been a body on his screen over in towards Quad, because from his POV, he just shot at the wall when there was nobody there. So, yeah, a little bit of a mistake, gave away his position, and ultimately gave the round over to AGO. So, nice trade back. They now come in with a much stronger buy than their opponents. It's only going to be pistols for Vitality. But at the same time, whenever I think of Force Fire wins, well, nowadays I more think of China, but in the past at least I would think of France.
It's a very long days past, but let's see if they can take a little hike down memory lane and bring out that major winning form that we've seen from them. Somehow I do doubt it, but let's wait and see. RPK and Zaiwu both saving a bit of money to be able to buy up the AWPs if they need to. Not sure if they'll have the money even if they win this round, to be honest, but you know what? Let's wait to find out. A go. Sparrow's the one who's looking to farm up himself. Mac 10 in hand, and they've sent 3 players down towards that mid side where they are boosting up. ZywOo right underneath them. He's the man you want to have on the hot seat. And this seat is getting very, very hot indeed. ZywOo waiting for a deagle with 1, looking for the second, but doesn't realize he's there. Caper does finish him off.
Still, a couple of players in mid. A risky peek from Alex will be finished off by Caper. T's look to double back in towards this B side, but the read, at least from the CT side, is pretty good. They've got a man in the back box, Apex in the corner, and on the site, RPK with his trusty P250, but he can't get anything done at all. It's more onto Apex, who at least closes out a kill. MBK, the natural born killer, looking to try and get back into this site. Doesn't have a kit or utility, just hoping someone makes a bit of a mistake. Gives him an angle, and PHR does do just that, but even with that peak, not going to go down. 2-1 AGO. And, well, now nada, nothing. Vitality can't afford an investment.
I think NBK is probably tied with EGM for me in esports for the coolest acronym name, like National Born Killer. That's so good. EGM, I don't know if you follow Dota, but EGM was Ender God Mode. 2 classic names. Love them both.
It's not bad. There's no face crack, is it? That's obviously the best name of all time.
It's true. You know, that's what's really aggressive. Now, though, 5 USPs on the A side. That's not going to end well if there's a few Mac 10s there to slice them down. Let's see whether the money will fall or whether somehow the other CTs will be able to get something done. Caper, though, starts things off with bad omens for the blue side.
Yeah, looking to farm up a little bit of cash, but realistically, you just want to see maybe one player probing over towards that A site, but with the realization that B is completely clear, there's not going to be much of a push. Not really wanting to throw away any extra money. Don't want to give anything over to Vitality for the next round. So other than the Mac 10s, you don't really want to see anybody over on the AGO side pushing. Spiro, an extra $600 picked up as well. And you can see they're trying to at least close down a couple, but damage done, but no frags found for Vitality. Well, now they're just being closed out one by one. Nice shot from ZywOo. I feel like he just gets at least 1 kill every single round, just as a parting gift. But Caper, happy to close this and bring a 3-1 scoreline onto AGO.
And that 1 kill is actually substantial when you look over towards money, because now he has money for armor if he wants to go for the AWP. Or if he doesn't want to go for armor, he's got money for a smoke and 2 flashes, which is always nice to have as an opper. But he does actually end up going for the heavy utility route. Still, none of them having a kit, so they're going to be playing a little bit more aggressive, which in itself is surprising given the lack of flashbangs. So overall, don't know about that decision. Would have liked to see ZywOo maybe go for a kit instead of head armor, even though there is still an SMG and a Galil on the field for a goal.
The strong initial mid presence. See a little bit of a fallback. ZywOo now the only man on point as the rotation comes back in towards the A side. And that's where the majority of the T's currently sit. Groovy on the other side of the map, just trying to hold off any rotations, not allowing Vitality to go for any of the aggression you mentioned. And well, already a quick trade over on the other side of the map. MBK calling for support. The bomb sneaking its way towards that A site, but I think the CT's a little bit wary for an over-rotation here, so they may get caught out. Flashbang's good, but it catches MBK. Apex will save him, but not for long. And the trade's just coming back and forward, leaves ZywOo alone, and he's scared that there might be someone into middle. And there is. There's a flank coming in from Groovy. Although it's more of a patient one. He catches out RPK instead and leaves ZywOo as the lone man. But both players over towards his quad spot. He gets both and now actually has a chance just to go for the defusal. The problem is, as you mentioned, there isn't a single kit. He's just got to stick it and hope that his opponent doesn't come back close enough. And I think he may just have it. Groovy has to go running and it's too little too late. He'll finish him off in the end. He'll get that final frag. But the fact is, ZywOo with the balls of steel and a 10-second defuse.
It's funny, but when you look over towards the kill score, it's just a little bit ridiculous for the CT side. I just noticed ZywOo. It's 5 rounds in, so you can't really judge it too much. But ZywOo is just sitting pretty at 9 kills, while the rest of his team is basically a square root or below. But about that round, what's interesting to see over there is still the fact that at the end of the day, ZywOo dies. Now, the problem is that over here you still have huge reset potential. AGO had so much money and they still do. So PHR right now going down is really important. Alex needs to keep himself alive, smokes himself off just to make sure that there won't be anyone coming through the Molotov.
Oh.
Furlan rather, will catch him out regardless as he does jump up and get the spot. ZywOo still with the MP9 looking to get aggressive. Will they be able to do so though as they're coming through? Caper takes a peek. ZywOo's not waiting for the trigger as he's moving forward with one more. Beautifully done in a Molotov to block off the push to come through from another one. And that's nice little advantage taken by the CT side.
Oh. A fight for the rifles. ZywOo somewhat earned that AK, but MBK has taken over, taken control. With a minute left on the clock, the T's find themselves with a one-man disadvantage and still a whole belt of utility, however, so I'll be interested to see how they're actually going to play this one. Slow rotation in from Spiro, looking to try and find an opener with that AWP, but the fact is there's nobody around the angles. You can see the CTs at least initially playing together, although with the two men looking to clear out the B site, it leaves ZywOo somewhat as the lone defender of A, and he really doesn't have the weapon for this. Now, his man definitely can use any weapon at his disposal, but trying to fight from high away on towards the A side doesn't seem like the best idea, and I wonder if MBK actually just spotted the cross, because that's going to be a crucial piece of information. He does and drops the bomb, leaves it all onto the man in the corner with 15 seconds left on the clock and ticking fast. Spiro has to try and hold off anybody from getting towards the side, and it's just not happening. They're going to go running in, and he doesn't have enough time. He has to go for the bomb plant. ZywOo's up close and will even get himself a free AWP at the end of the round, and it's one of those situations where if you ever watch a cast of Vitality, a lot of the time you get sick of the amount of times you hear, well, I suppose it's ZywOo, but I still think ZywOo sounds better, so I'm going to stick with that. But the amount of times you hear his name, it's just like, oh, come on, he can't be doing that much. But so far in this game, they have 3 rounds. He's pretty much to be thanked for all of them.
That's true, and now that he's got the AWP, it's a little bit more time for a little bit more calling out his name. Should be a good one, though, as AGO are actually avoiding him completely as they head over towards the B side. So RPK is going to have some pressure on him. Maybe we'll be calling his name out. Incendiary is there, but he's not chucking out yet, and they've made their way onto the site. RPK starts off strong, takes down Caper, and Alex on the other side will be able to take Spero's life away. RPK is still in danger, though ZywOo's here with some backup, and can he find the kill? Of course he can. It's ZywOo. It's the boy wonder himself, and Furlan, well, he might have found one, but it doesn't matter. ZywOo can get you even when he can't see you.
Yeah, important hold there, though, by RPK. The tank just holding down the fort. And the thing is, he gets a couple of kills, but the most important thing there is he allows for rotation. You see Alex able to get in through the vent, and because we see the sort of T side bogged down and stuck over towards that B spot, there was no real way they were winning that round from that point. The whole rotation came in. The CTs were ready and waiting. And well, now we just look at the AGO economy. It's in tatters. They've got some Deegs. They're going to go for those dirty Juans, but the fact is, so far, not so good.
On the other side, though, the CTs aren't looking too pretty either when it comes to their wallets. Now, well, you know what? That's a nice way to make sure you don't die. Alex and ZywOo, both of them double nading down the boost and getting a quick kill. But if they do end up losing a few guns, that could be problematic moving into the next round. T's obviously need a lot of buy up. And well, you might not be able to get that AWP. So far, so good, and everything's looking clean, cut, and precise. Alex finds Caper, and that's probably the first time the T's have actually seen the CTs from what it seems like. ZywOo does get tagged down, but it's through the sugar cube, so it won't get all. DHR does find one, but that might be all he's able to get done.
Again, a 4-man save will be a pretty big deal for Vitality, but fact is, PHR still has the chance to make things a little bit more costly. The time isn't quite against him just yet, but he's not going to expect a hiding tank in the corner. It's normally quite a difficult thing to do to hide a tank.
I was going to say, no one expects
he did
a
very
hiding
well.
tank in the corner. It's like the Spanish Inquisition.
Okay. Maybe the French Inquisition. There you go.
Maybe.
Make it topical. But
yeah.
5-3. T's now with a buyback in. They've got a lot of utility behind it. No AWP for Spiro, but at the same time, I feel like Cash is definitely a map where on the T side, you kind of don't necessarily need it. I think you can go for much faster plays, more dynamic plays if you do sort of drop that AWP. And a lot of the time, the battles you're going to be taking versus the CT side, I don't think they work so well for an AWP unless you're sort of jumping into angles such as on the B side or boosting over mid. But again, you're sort of hoping there's nobody watching the angle over on the other side. Either way, they have managed to gain quite a bit of control in middle, as Alex has abandoned it, fallen back into Zed. The only other support is from Zywu, who's going to be actually smoked off on highway. So AGO methodically taking the control. The fact is, are they going to utilize it?
Full execute coming out on towards the A side as well. And Sentry's shocked out. That's a good one. Zywu might be able to prevent a lot of them from coming out, but Furlan still manages to take him down. RPK on the other side is still alive, but not for long as he does get taken down. Alex doing what he can from across the table, but unfortunately he's still blocked off too much between him and the T side. And unfortunately, one of those things includes a bullet to the head. 2 versus 3. Apex and NBK. The OG NB duo going through, waiting to see whether they can find anyone. There's a man inside A main who could be making things a little bit more problematic for them. Over here, PHR on the side finds one. Apex is down. NBK, the clutch master himself, can he do it? There's practically zip nicks now, though things have taken a turn for the worse, and that turn will lead him to his death.
And even after just one round loss, although the money for the majority of players is fine, Apex will still have to take the hit and have a little bit of a lackluster purchase. 5-7, not the end of the world, and it's actually going to be MBK picking up the AWP. I think this may be more spawn-based than anything else. He did have a very good spawn for A main if he wanted to try and take the aggressive fight, but as of yet not going to. And well, spoke last round about sort of the troubles of being an aggressive AWPer. It's actually going to be Spero managing to find that opening pick. Although I believe that may have been something to do with the boost, as it seems like he hadn't actually gone over the top yet.
Zywu looking to get aggressive. That might actually be the reason why NBK is handling the AWP. Now, they're going to be moving through and they've been caught out before. The question is, will they be expecting it this time around? If you know what they say, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, Zywu though, god damn it, you've got yourself almost 2. But fortunately for him, Apex does manage to finish Caper off as well. Otherwise, that would have been a bit of a tragedy right there.
The biggest problem is going to be the push towards this B site, though. Again, it's going to be RPK trying to hold it down. Molotov thrown out. Spots out Groovy. He's going to take a bit of damage, but you can see again, RPK just trying to stay alive in the flashbang. Absolutely perfect. He can still only manage 1, but he's allowed for the trade. As it's all left on to Spero. The AWPer for the team, the one who has a couple in this round. I believe MBK just found him straight through the smoke, and Apex will do the same through the floor. He didn't even see his opponents in that battle, but hey-ho, sometimes life is not fair. And well, what else isn't fair for AGO is the amount of money they have left to try and purchase into this round.
Double up, though, that's where things do get interesting. If you do go... Well, they are going for a semi... For almost a force buy, I'd like to say Spero is still keeping some money for the AWP, and a few of them do have some for utility. But, you know, it's nice to see that they've gone for something where you can be a little bit more fast-paced and aggressive if you want to do on towards the B side. There's 2 ops, you can overwhelm them. Always nice to see people trying to exploit that. Whether or not they realize that Team Vitality has chosen to maintain those 2 ops is yet to be seen. It's going to be a full execute on towards the B side as they're moving through. RPK from the side is flashed up and locked out. He's in checkers and he'll be taken down. Grubby's the one to find that and pick up the gun immediately after. Zywu, though, still stopping them all from coming in. 2 kills so far, looking for more, and god damn it, he's going to get him. A grenade to go through. That's a bomb site that you can't get a plant on without taking some substantial damage. NBK now with the AWP. Might want to switch out guns, but it seems like he himself is proficient. Why bother? Furlan and Spero here to protect the bomb.
Yeah, this is a tough hold from them, only having a FAMAS alongside the CZ. The flashbang, though, a little bit off. Zywu will go down, but it doesn't matter in the end. A 7th round for Vitality, and a bomb plant helps a little bit for the AGO economy, but not anything that can warrant a force buy into the next round. The CTs will survive the bombardment, but even still, those faster pushes seem to be catching Vitality off quite a bit. A couple of Molotovs needing to be thrown to try and slow these pushes down, or maybe a smoke or 2, because there's been a few times now we've just seen a quick push into A or B, and control has pretty much completely gone the other way.
Zai was doing so much, it's a little bit unfair, honestly. He managed to find 2 kills after RPK was out of position and gave the man advantage over early on. Then he manages to nade down the planter and take him down to half health as well. NBK came through with a nice little shot, don't get me wrong, but Zai Wu just took control of that bomb site. He wasn't even in the... Okay, nice start. Okay, fine. These things are going out well for them. So far, 2 shots through the wall, and they're all in their favor. Alex now moving forward. NBK with 2 and Alex with 3 to finish that one off. They're tired of the Zai Wu show, but let's hope that they can put those numbers up against guns as well.
That's one of those wall bangs that you sort of just try for a bit of banter every once in a while. Just like, you know, I'll just try shooting the wall and, well, the spot perfect and actually catches someone down to half HP. Obviously, more of an eco round. That was a bomb plant attempt for AGO. And it's one of those like high-risk ones where you just all go barreling onto the site and pray that you can overwhelm the player. So not really much substance into that one. MBK,
hey, don't
very
you go
risky play.
messing with my matchmaking strats, okay? Don't go saying I don't have substance.
I bet you're a contact B sort of guy on Mirage. I bet that's
like
the call every round.
Contact. That sounds so much sexier than Rush B.
No, it's not rushing because you're waiting until someone sees them. That's the sort of classic matchmaking play. So, yeah, no, contact. That's the Hugo Byron special, basically. He'll say that every pissed around playing Mirage. Either way, enough about Hugo strats because, let's be honest, there isn't much substance to those. We're more looking at what the T's are going to be doing. And this double AWP setup, going to be troublesome. Apex not a man that we see AWPing too often, but I think this is more a positional-based change as he is over towards the B side. Looking for those aggro peaks. Finally, they've managed to take down Zaiwu in middle, who has just been a menace so far. The fact is, though, even still, Groovy's gone down to 2 HP and Furlan's tagged to half, so not going to be the easiest of situations. MBK saves Alex, but the fact is there's still a trade back in as Alex goes pushing in towards that A main spot. And now the rotation again looks to swarm onto this B site. There's one man to defend it. It's Apex with the AWP, and I think he's just looking for a man on the cross, but there's plenty of utility. There should be a smoke going down to stop him having any vision at all.
Apex is on an AWP as well, and now he's going to be barreling through the smoke with a 5-7. Who needs an AWP when you've got a 5-7 to work with? That's what I always say. RPK still in a position where he can try and go for this retake, and they're going to need to. NBK, though, with just an AWP, they could honestly save at this point. But the problem is that with AGO's economy, AGO's economy being as low as it is, there is still a pretty... It's a high-risk, high-reward play to actually go for this right now. They're going to decide against it. Incendiary to move out. That should be enough to maybe net them 1 kill, but he doesn't get out of position. Instead, PHR takes down RPK and moves on to NBK as well. Finishes them both off. RPK slow slide down to hell.
I don't know, great couple of exit kills for PHR. And important ones at that, because as you mentioned, like having the strong economy towards the end of this map, or end of the half at least for AGO is going to be important. And him making sure they don't manage to finish off any extra frags. And it even makes the buy this round a little bit more interesting. Now, obviously, we've seen how Zaiwu's been playing. It's been very aggro into middle, looking to try and take control. So an MP9, okay, it is a detriment, but not as much as you might think, just based on angles. The problem is he is becoming quite predictable. We've seen the T's in the last round at least know that he was going to be around that mid spot and finish him off without too much trouble. And on the other side of the map, they've gambled heavily over onto B early on, but MBK just looking to try and hold down the fort as the T's do gather into this site once again. Lots of utility being expended, and they're going to be achieved early on from the T side. MBK will be there to find the first, and oh, they're working wonderfully. The fact is, though, the T's trade 2 back, and now they still have the chance. The smoke's still up to get them towards the site. They're actually going to throw down another one just to make sure, but the cross will be made comfortably, and Spiro finishes off Alex before he can do anything else. However, the interesting point here, Zaiwu on the flank.
Zaiwu was always the interesting point, and well, like you said, this time no different. He's moving through, but will he spot the player on catwalk? The question, yes, he does. That's a first, but the second takes him down, leaves RPK alone. And can the War Machine himself move through is the question that we'll have answered very soon. PHR wants to take that peek. He knows his teammate is very low, so RPK could find an easier duel on the side. RPK moves through, but PHR is ready, and he has been stepping up. 3 kills this round, the same in the previous one. He's got 18 kills so far, the only one going neck to neck with Zaiwu so far. I mean, look at the scoreboard. It's basically the same story on both times. We've got 1 player on 18, and everyone after that just a sharp drop down.
Yeah, we've had a lot of sort of closer rounds. Obviously, this one, we're going to see a pause called in, and well, no real questions whether or not there's going to be a purchase, as it is the final round of this half. But yeah, it definitely has been a sort of interesting match. Like a lot of these rounds, we talk about sort of hero plays coming out from Vitality, but the fact is, the T's managed to get themselves quite a few rounds towards that beginning part, and there has been a lot of battles over the last few to sort of reduce any major economy growth for either side. And well, that's definitely been shown by Vitality's lack of a purchase here. At the same time, we still know that these players can step up when needed. Zaiwu has been good so far, but the question is, can they increase their lead that a little bit, give them a bit more of a buffer when it comes to the next pistol, or is it going to be as close as it can be?
Nice flashes early on to prevent Apex from actually pushing through. I'm a bit surprised to see those flashes land where they did, but you know what, whatever works. Zaiwu definitely works. He's been boosted up, came from behind, but Caper is fast enough to turn around and take down that MP9. NBK once again from Forklift. He found some success despite being flashed out. Let's see if he can do it with an inferior gun. It seems like the answer is no. Furlan takes him down. RPK still now playing from the NBK spot. Cute little homage to his teammate, but let's see whether he can get something done, as Furlan will be doing aggressively. And Furlan is so good this round. 3 kills so far. No one is stopping him. And well, Alex sure as hell won't be. 1 versus 4. Here he goes. LDLC player finds 1, looking for 2. Could have even managed it. It was a beautiful spray down, but it doesn't work, and it will be 7-8 to AGO.
Well, at least getting themselves the final round and bringing things back a little bit. I do think it's going to be a bit more difficult, though, when it comes into that CT side for AGO. Obviously, individually, Zaiwu playing very well. Can he transfer over onto the T side, I think, is going to be the big thing, but a lot of the time this man can. And I'm hoping we see a bit more of a step up from Apex. I think he's going to be one of the bigger factors here. Obviously, known for his sort of entry fragging, but one of the best in the world at a point in time. And I think if he's on his game, I don't think there's anything that AGO will be able to do to stop him.
Honestly, the thing is, for me, in the past few rounds, AGO managed to take down Zaiwu before he could get a multi-kill. And repeatedly, when we're seeing rounds get this close and Zaiwu getting as many clutches as he did, the question is, has Zaiwu started to cool down at the worst possible time? Because you need him early on into the next half. AGO will be looking to accrue that nice little lead off of the pistol round. So let's see what kind of games Zaiwu is bringing. I know he's everyone's boy these days, but I always have some questions. So far, he's been answering them pretty effectively. Let's hope that this time is no different.
Imagine we will be getting into things fairly shortly. Obviously, we've got a player missing at the moment, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah, I think this is definitely a closer game than I was expecting, especially I believe AGO already played today versus Ents. Wasn't like as one-sided as it potentially could be, but it definitely didn't look like Ents were really in any trouble. They had a very dominant first half of the game, and I think that's going to be the problem with this sort of the AGO that we're seeing at the moment. Is like obviously they're still sort of reeling from like player losses and people going missing, like joining Virtus Pro. Like obviously money talks. We've learned that. Well, which is fair enough, to be honest. I think if anybody offered me a much bigger salary to do the same job, I'd probably be happy to take it. But it does mean that this AGO roster has taken a lot of hits over time, and their sort of stint in Pro League coming to an end recently. Well, that's why we're here. That's why they're here.
Yeah,
It is the MDL looking to try and qualify once again. Either way, we are going to be going into our pistol round MBK with the small amount of utility that they have. Bomb actually going to be heading its way in towards B, while the rest of the team somewhat probing on the rest of the map, but it looks like they may just be waiting to see if there's any sort of aggression from this CT side. And there is. Unfortunately, they got the side of the map wrong.
NBK, though, he's looking to get dirty over here. And, well, Zaiwu's even dirtier. Finds one,
I don't like that
as
peak.
NBK did back off with barely any HP. Yep, you definitely do. I mean, just that clean headshot straight to start things off. NBK still, at the very least, does manage to save his utility. And that's important as they're going to be deciding which side to actually push onto. They're hoping that AGO makes some mistakes and starts to push forward so that they can be the flank from Alex coming through from Squeaky. Now, he doesn't realize it so far, but Caper is very aggressively pushed forward. So if there is a duel, if Zaiwu starts to engage, and Alex is in a perfect position to start backstabbing a few of these CTs. Vitality definitely looking like they want to go over towards the A site. The single smoke generally does indicate that as well. And here goes Caper. Here goes Alex. Alex has found one, closes the door immediately after. It's knock knock. Who's there? Bye bye.
And they're actually going to boost over mid as well, but they still got to be a little bit careful. RPK actually just holding for any sort of flanks. There's only actually one man, Furlan, looking to defend this site. Now, he ended the last half successfully, but needs to do one better here. He's got the rotation at least of Spiro in to help him, but Furlan not able to connect the initial shots as they do look to push into the site. They've spotted RPK in mid, who looks to back around, but now it is all onto Furlan, and he's going to be completely overwhelmed by Apex and Alex, leaving it all onto PHR, and well, it looks like they've been played completely by Vitality. I have to say, that sort of early pick that came in, it was just painful, because I understand the sort of mindset of Groovy. He knows he's done a lot of damage. He knows that MBK's low, but he doesn't know what's around that corner. And in my eyes, if you're a CT player and you're pushing through towards T-Spawn, you've gone too far, especially that early in the round, especially at a pistol. So high risk wasn't really worth it. And obviously then it seemed like Team Vitality just built off of that early pick and managed to pull apart the remaining players. So good work to them. PHR just going to try and save his cap.
Like, honestly, I think you're being too kind right now. Just that one push moving forward. The problem with that is what we saw is that Alex can get into such a good position with Squeaky because they know that there's so much aggression coming out from CTs that now there's no longer going to be that one player at Forklift who can actually keep peeking at Squeaky. So Caper is forced to push forward just in case Vitality decide to recover from that one kill that they've gotten, and just in case they say, you know what, let's quickly push through and overwhelm them while they're still in a main. So Caper has to push forward and give his teammate backup. Because of that, Alex now is in that great position where he can behead anyone who's coming through, and that one kill that you've basically lost sets you up for the perfect pincer attack right there and then as a CT side. Very problematic.
Well, we are going to see the save actually pulled in here. Now, a lot of teams you see force buy into the second round still just because of the obvious reason of being able to get that much better fourth round buy, but Csgo clearly feeling happy with those M4s and AUGs, not too fussed about all that extra utility. And we'll see if it works out for them. Obviously do have some strong individuals. And they will still be able to pull in some smokes. The interesting thing will be, can they actually do any damage in this round? So far, not so good. So picks one off and makes an extra $600 for his team. At the same time, of course, Vitality are going to want to keep the remaining players standing. It's going into the next round. They want to make sure that they do have bolstered cash ready for this purchase. I think Zywo must have heard the hits onto Groovy, or at least you'd think he would. Doesn't seem like it. And actually, Groovy's managed to get an AK. If he could escape, that'd be magnificent. But, well, the smoke fades just as I mentioned it. And Vitality, they get their 10th.
Furlan going for those picks with the AK without armor is always interesting to see. It's a bit of a toss-up in what you want to go for, if you want to save the AK moving forward, or if you just want to try and get a bit more damage done so that the Vitality buy is weaker as well. For me, I'm personally a little bit more conservative. I like to see that AK save forward, but even right now, this is the problem. Your utility is so low that you are really relying on a stack to pay off in those lines. And you're really relying that, okay, even if we end up losing this round, we're going to save 3 players, and then off the back of that, we're going to try and buy in the next one. Over here, Caper has to do a lot on the forklift area. If he can get aggressive early in, then they've got themselves a chance if he can find himself a pick-off. But it's going to be hard as Vitality isn't looking to really dip their feet too much into this pool. And BK setting up for that A take. Furlan. That's an interesting smoke. We move forward towards A main. That one before, and well, he's going to be blocked down. There's Molotovs all over. Quad and Alex will take down Caper to start things off, but Furlan's here to pick it up. Only for a little while, though, and he's only able to pick one head up. Grubby through the smoke does manage to take down 2. That makes things a little bit more doable, especially when Sparrow comes through and leaves Zywo alone. 1 versus 3. What's Zywo going to do? Not that much HP. Needs those clean headshots. Needs that smoke to end up working out for him. Using it on forklift, interestingly enough. He just wants that one headshot angle, and he's going to work it every single time.
Oh.
1, 1, 1, and he's got 3.
God.
Zywo, you just can't leave him alone in the round.
Don't solo peek him though. Like, I get that in that situation it was only slightly delayed, but just that split second gives him enough to find those kills. And well, this is why he's tainted to be the future best player in the world. Like, those are difficult duels to take, especially with such low HP, and he made it look easy. 11-7. He's bailed them out once again. 25 kills already for him, and they need 5 more rounds to get the victory. So a 30 bomb almost definitely on the cards. At the same time, I will say Alex has definitely looked like he stepped up going into this T side. Currently 16-12 and getting some integral entries in that round as well. But realistically, there's only one man that anybody's going to be talking about at the end of this map. That's unless there's some crazy comeback from Csgo. Already though, RPK kicks things off with a fairly simplistic kill onto just pistol players. Still a couple over towards the other side, but well, the SG King of MBK will get himself a double. And the remaining 2 players nowhere near the action. You can already see Alex is probably going to want to go hunting to try and find an extra couple of kills of that Mech 10 and finally build some money, because that's been something that has been a real struggle. Nice shot onto Spiro. Well, if they can get this one flawlessly, it would be a nice little addition to their economy, although timing almost gets the better of the Brit. Not going to happen.
You always have to wonder what it's like for these veterans who really, I mean, they were there when Kenny S was just kind of getting into form, and Kenny S was kind of exploding on the scene, and everyone's like, okay, who's this kid? He's amazing. And now you get to see it again from your own scene. I mean, you really have to ask, how does that even feel? Now, of course, we don't know how far Zai was going to go, and let's not jump to any conclusions, but he's looking like he's going to make one hell of a player. Right now, though, he's looking dead, as Grubby does manage to take him down while I was waxing lyrical, so that's fantastic.
A mid-control game by Apex. Seems like Grooby's clearly aware of the possibility. Going for some jump peaks, though, and if he's not careful, Apex could just swing around that corner and pop him right between the eyes. Fact is, though, it's looking like he may get away with it. Oh. There we go. That's the timing. Alex opens that door just to take the vision away. That's fantastic.
That's very nicely done. Great communication between the French line, at the very least. Apex looking for more, though. He's not done. They might be expecting him. They need to be careful. Apex, though, will be taken down. PHR catches him in a moment of negligence. Some karma being not very nice. RPK is still hunting. PHR's on the other side. If RPK swings out, he might be able to catch him. Saw the gun barrel. He sees it again, and now he comes through. The advantage of guns working out for him. He doesn't get that insta headshot, but apparently that doesn't matter too much. There's one man on the side, and that's Sparrow. He's got the AWP, though.
Can he get it?
It's 3 versus...
No, it's over. He can't get the bomb.
Where's the bomb?
It's in vent. So the second that RPK died, that round was over, because they would have had to boost into the vent, and Alex realizes it, jumping up to try and get it. But yeah, no way he can win that round. A little bit unfortunate of the positioning, and yeah, that's gonna be AGO with their 8th.
And with the double AWP as well to work with. Furlan and Sparrow, both of them having 1 apiece, and that can be working wonders on Cash. Now, I'm a little bit surprised to see that we're not seeing the 3 players down towards mid, 1 up on each side, the very straightforward default that we've seen from a lot of CT sides. Instead, they're going for a boost, but this might be countered out by early plays from Alex. The question is, how aggressive does he want to be, especially now that Furlan has been brought down? They must have heard that bullet hitting. Furlan, oh no, barely missing the shot over there. Apex got to be careful, but Furlan will get taken down from the side. Not before he gets 1, though.
Important trade back. I think Alex has been a bit of a menace over and towards the squeaky door, so him being cleared out is an important moment for the CT side. And Caper boosted up. Now, doing this so sort of late into the round is something that could quite easily catch off his opponents. We'll see if Zywo actually checks as he goes peeking in. Now, he did just see a pixel of the leg, and he has spotted it. Even catches a little bit, and MBK will be there to steal that frag away. 40 seconds left on the clock, and they've managed to clear the A site out. The rotation will be coming in from Grooby, but he's a little bit in 2 minds of where he should be going. Can he catch anyone on the cross? The answer to that is no. And ZywOo's going to get a nice open plant ready for his teammate RPK. Actually, they're not utilizing it. They've not gone in towards A main. And that may be the right decision, as there is actually a man coming in on the flank. PHR yet to have much impact so far, and well, not going to have the same in the second half. So we're going to be left on to Groovy and
awareness. I mean, just as PHR is pushing forward, ZywOo turns around, scopes in towards A main, takes him down, smoothly repositions himself to walk over to Squeaky so he has a better angle from the off-highway so he doesn't have to peek up from quad. And the second that CT reveals himself to peek into quad, ZywOo's got him down to rights. That is picture perfect.
He's looking to pick up the pace already into A main. Caper's there with the Deeg. ZywOo on the other side, and well, he's going to be overwhelmed. Alex just closed him out through the door. Apex finds Furlan, and you almost have to wonder if it's worth just trying to save some extra pistols, something into the next round. Even still, though, Groovy has got a nice low SG. I feel like he has no choice but to save. Other side of the map, no kit, no real hope. The remaining players can at least try and do a bit of damage, maybe steal another weapon. Apex low, tries to run away, can't do that. And Spiro spamming, but well, now you can just see the tease. I was gonna say trying to just save, but Alex is feeling confident at the moment. He will be pushing forward, gets himself to a 20-second kill as well, playing very well just behind ZywOo. And we sort of spoke about it earlier on, where we saw two players far and above everybody else in the server. One of them, of course, being PHR in the first half, who's not had a particularly good second half. And I think you can definitely tell the difference. But the fact is now also you got ZywOo still going strong alongside Alex as well. So a pretty scary prospect, AGO. Someone looking out of this. And if you look at the finances, that seems to be the case. Looks like they're going to have to take it from 15.
And that's a really exciting prospect, though, when you consider moving forward. If Alex is able to step up and be that second star on the terrorist side, because so far in Cash, at least, you phrased it perfectly. He's been a menace over towards Squeaky. He's been brilliant. So if he can put up those kind of numbers moving forward, I mean, that could be some interesting things in the major.
Well,
they did make the major, right?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. I was just...
Caper's got himself 3 kills. Now, he only had a USP going into this round. He's now got an AK. He's picked up a Deagle as well. This man's looking to try and make a hero play of his own. The problem is, I was going to say, RPK's looking to get on towards that B side, but he's failed. It's left onto MBK. Now, neither of these players have armor. A Molotov thrown in, but no kit. MBK's got to be careful. A lot of this is going to come down to timing. He's looking to push right in. He's not going to check the angle. Caper with a magnificent round. 4 kills, 2 with the USP, 1 with the Deagle, and 1 with the AK he saved into the next. That is absolutely magnificent. And Furlan's also managed to find himself an SG along the way. So the T's probably stunned a little bit after that one. And although you can see the sting a little bit, they are going to invest into this one. Now, it's definitely not the best of buys. Not even close to the best buy we've seen them have so far in this half. We're going to have RPK and our man Alex with the weaponry. ZywOo on an SMG, which he could have actually bought up an AK if he really wanted to, but I'm guessing he's trying to save a little bit of extra cash if he does want an AWP going forward. However, RPK has already managed to open it. There's only 1 defender left.
BHR looking for a few. Alex, though, very quickly takes him down, and AGO, they're suffering because of Sparrow's aggression early on. Vitality, in the meanwhile, just push through that smoke, take down that one man on the B side, and suddenly AGO is saying maybe it's time to slow down. Maybe, let's say, save into the next round. And Vitality, I mean, it seems like they don't need the best advice. It seems like all they need is some misplaced aggression to punish.
Yeah, that's one of those rounds that a lot of the time it can't be helped. I feel like when you just get rushed like that, a lot of the time you have to sort of see it coming if you're AGO, but realistically, this is the worst sort of case scenario. Okay, they do at least have some weaponry saved, although you can see the T's, even with the sort of limited money they have, they want to hunt. They want to remove extra weaponry because they don't want to allow a buy. But actually, no, even with just the extra save weaponry, that'll be enough for AGO to go for a full buy into this next round, even with an AWP, which Furlan has kindly produced for Spiro. So, yeah, at least they've got a buy in this round. But the fact is, with 6 map points up against them, Vitality ready and waiting to get themselves what I believe is their first win on the board. I think it's also their first game, so yeah.
100% record, possibly. NBK is looking to move forward. Caper up top on catwalk. Has to be careful. He knows where Alex has been time and time again, so he's more careful this time around. But the flashbang, well, it's going to be scaring him off. Sparrow boosting himself up onto the red container. Vitality's going to play this slow, but Sparrow, this is not an angle you normally check. Zaiwu, he has got himself an AWP though, and he is very quick with those flicks if he wants to go for it. Caper starting off strong, good damage. Maybe follow up. Alex will take him down, but Alex himself is taken out as well. Through Zaiwu trying to get onto the side. Sparrow's over here with the AWP. Close range does find Alex. Zaiwu now left alone versus 3, and we've seen them do this before. AWP at the ready, taking the peek out wide. Go! No! Almost had the shot right there. Furlan. Cool, calm, and collected.
Finally managed to rectify one of those rounds, not allow him space to get back into it. Tease, their money again is a bit questionable, and I like the fact that they're not going to overly invest into this one. They've done great work with the pistol so far, and they can get a 4-buy going into the next, so no real need to overface this situation. It is 15 to 10. They have a 5-round buffer. The interesting thing will be is, can they reduce the buy that's going to be coming in for AGO in the next round? Can they find a kill or two and make it so the weapons have to be dropped? Maybe a piece of utility might be missing for the next round. It's all going to be impactful for Team Vitality, and while on the other side of things, AGO up against these pistols, they want to keep it clean as possible. Not only for the financial gains, but also build a bit of confidence. Try and basically get into your heads, we are going to make it back into this game.
Oh,
No! Oh, never mind.
Getting into your heads. Well, at least they're able to reclaim it, but I'm just saying. That's a great way to get into someone's head. Oh dear. Never mind, Apex is still here. He's still alive. He doesn't have the bomb, but he does have an M4 to work with. 2 kills. He's actually in a decent position as well, because there's 2 places he can come from, so Squeaky allows him a little bit more access. He's moving through, and that's a great way to start things off in a 1 versus 2. He's got himself 3 kills so far. Vitality, they're not done yet, and Sparrow, well, he's picked himself up an AUG. He knows that he can't afford to have an AWP in that duel, but Apex, he's very low, 30 HP left, needs to go into the side plant quickly. There's just about the same amount of seconds as well on the clock. Is he thinking of maybe trying to make a run for the A side? That can't be it. He's just clearing angles. That's definitely for sure. Just making sure there's no one here. Sparrow, though, he's sold for A. Oh no, Sparrow's giving Apex a great chance to get himself into a perfect position. 10 seconds on the clock. Sparrow, he's making his way over, and he'll realize way too late. Apex, oh, Sparrow still doesn't know. He's now starting to run, and that's a few seconds lost. That might be a few seconds too many. Apex now moving through. He's scared of the vents, but instead he might just end up waiting at the back of checkers. That way he can hear him coming from either side. But instead, Apex holding a hairline angle. Sparrow comes through. Apex will see him. Apex has seen him, and now Apex will be coming in on the side. He sees the man, and now he just has to play the bomb. There's a flashbang. There's a grenade, and Sparrow, well, he's got the utility he needs.
Yeah, a crucial HE, but it's one of those positions where all you really have to talk about is how fantastically well played that was from Apex. So, okay, he doesn't get the round win, but he does a hell of a lot of damage over to the other side. There's probably going to be some reductions in purchases, maybe a nade or 2 missing, and that's going to be hugely impactful. That was a round they never should have had a chance to win, and he almost makes it work. So the only question I have is, should he have kept going with the Deeg? Because that could have been utterly fantastic. Either way, 15 to 11. We are going to have ourselves the T's looking to try and close this here and now.
They've definitely got themselves some extra confidence to work with, to say the least. Caper. The M4 is seeming heavy in his hands as he's got a big burden of it. Seems seems like they're going over towards that B side potentially. Some damage done. Grubby finds one. NBK is quick to trade though, and RPK, well, he's been mollied off and he will be forced into a corner. Can they take him down and punish him is the question though, and it seems like PHR is too low to risk it. RPK moving through. Cleared out checkers. This could be the call to take that B side hit.
PHR's position, though, is an interesting one, but he'll be caught out. And again, it's going to be left all on to Spiro on the site. The rotation, it's actually going to be quite a long one coming out from Caper all the way back through the spawn. The only thing will be is how long the T's take to execute. And they've moved in very quickly indeed. Zywoo's executed his opposing Orpra, and I think this is the beginning of the end. Caper, he's been a hero in rounds gone past, but it's not going to happen this time. In the end, a fairly dominant T side coming out from Vitality, and they do get themselves their first win, as you said earlier. 100% win rate so far, but obviously a long, long way to go in MDL.
I mean, you know, nothing else much to add. Vitality is looking fantastic, and that's a great run of form to start things off. Remember, they're not done yet, and neither are we, because we're going to be seeing Vitality versus Virtus Pro up next. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Let's see. Let's see how it ends up going. You know what? I'm not gonna indulge too much right now. We'll do that off camera. We'll be back very soon.